Hi coders, CS Time channel here, and this video discuss about how to delete a node at the beginning of a doubly linked list. If you wish to delete a node from a doubly linked list, then there will be two situations how the doubly linked list would look like. The first one, the situation where the list is empty. The second one, the situation when the list is not empty. When the list is not empty, also there are two possibilities. The first one, when the list has only one node, and the second situation, when the list has many nodes. Now let's see the logic. In the first situation, our doubly linked list is empty. When our doubly linked list is empty, it will look like this. The head pointer and the tail pointer point to the null. Therefore, if you wish to delete the node in this situation, then your program should throw an exception. In the second situation, when the list is not empty, the first situation where the list is not empty is the list has only one node. So your doubly linked list will look like this. The head and the tail will point to the same node. In this case, I have A. And if you wish to delete a node in this situation, then you have to instruct the pointer of the head to point to the null like this, and then the pointer of the tail to point to the null like this. After this deletion, your doubly linked list will look like this. The second situation when the list is not empty is the list has many nodes. So as we can see here, when the list has many nodes, then the head and the tail will point to a different node. So if you wish to delete the first node, which is A here, I need the help of another pointer. In this case, I use temp. I instruct temp to point to the head. It means the temp will point to the same node pointed by the head. Keep in mind, every node in the doubly linked list has two pointers. A here has next pointer, and then A also has previous pointer. In this case, the A point to the null because the A is the first node. And then B here has two pointers, which is next pointer and previous pointers. The same with C has next pointer, in this case point to null because C is the last node, and then previous pointer that point to the previous node, which is B here. So if you wish to delete A, then we will need to access the previous pointer belong to the B. So we will instruct the previous pointer belong to B to point to the null. To access the previous pointer belong to the B, we can do head.next.previous. We assign it to point to the null. By giving the instruction like this, the previous pointer belong to the B will look like this. Our next job is to pay attention to the head pointer. We need to instruct the head pointer, the next pointer, to point to the next node after the first pointer. So we will give the instruction head equal to head.next. It means revert to B. By giving this instruction, the head now will point to B. Next job, we can tell the next pointer belong to the temp to point to the null. Temp.next equal to null. By doing like this, the next pointer belong to A will point to null. Let's see the Java implementation. Now let's see the implementation on how to delete the first node in a doubly linked list. Here we are using the same program that we wrote in the insertion of a doubly linked list as well as traversing of a doubly linked list. So in the previous video, we wrote our program with class doubly linked list, and the doubly linked list has two pointer, head and tail. And then we have another variable length that we declare it as integer. The purpose of this is only to count the length or the size of the doubly linked list. And then for the list node itself, we have data that we declare it as character. We also have next pointer and then previous pointer. And we also have a method to return the size of the doubly linked list by returning length. And then we also have a method to return Boolean value if the doubly linked list is empty or not. Before we write the method to delete the first node, let's run this program first. From the previous program, this is the result. So we insert node to our doubly linked list A and Z, and then we display it. Here is the result, and then we do insertion in the middle, C and D, and then we display it. Here is the result. Now we will implement the concept that we learned just now to Java programming. So here I will just write public list node because that's the name of our list node. We will just give the name delete first method. The first situation, if the doubly linked list is empty, then we will check if is empty. So we call this method. According to our explanation, it will throw an exception. Right here I will throw new no such element exception. Look at this, this is red, so we import Java util no such element exception there. Another situation when the list is not empty. Maybe the first situation when the list is not empty, when the list has only one node. So we need the help of another pointer. Here I will use temp list node point to head. Then we will check if the head equal to tail, it means point to the same node, then instruct the head to point to the null. And we also want to instruct the tail to point to the null. Otherwise, our doubly linked list consists of more than one node or has many nodes. So in this situation, we will tell the head to point to the next dot previous. So we tell the second node previous to point to the null, and then after that we also tell the head to point to the head dot next. We'll tell the temp dot next, which is the first node, to point to the null, and then we reduce the size. We can return the node that we deleted. To be able to run this, then in the main method here we need to call it dl dot delete first, and then we display it, dl display forward. Now let's see the result. This is the result. So this az and then null comes from, we do the insertion in the last and then we display it. And then the second one, we do the insertion in the middle. We insert C and D, so C and D appear there, and then we display it. And then just now we delete the first node, and then we display it. The first node was A. After deletion of the first node, we display it. So here's the result. So if we do it one more time, for example, here dl dot delete first, like that, and if we run it, since we did 2 times, so the first 2 nodes will be deleted. So here is the result. If you learned something from this video, please subscribe and like for more videos. Thanks for watching.